Laura and David had what many considered an ideal marriage. They were college sweethearts, now married for 15 years, with 2 children, Emma and Jake. They lived in a cozy suburban home, where David worked as a senior financial analyst and Laura, a former marketing professional, had left her job to focus on raising the kids. Life had grown into a routine of soccer practices, PTA meetings, and busy weekdays. Laura felt tired more often than not, managing both the household and the kids' busy schedules. David, though he cared deeply for his family, had been feeling a sense of disconnection. Work was demanding, and when he came home, he found himself yearning for attention, for a sense of closeness that seemed to have faded. It was around this time that they hired Jessica, a young woman in her 20s, to help with the housework. Jessica had a bright, warm personality and was quick to connect with both Emma and Jake. She often joked with them and made them laugh, lightening up the atmosphere in the house. Laura, exhausted from her routine, was relieved to have Jessica's help and appreciated how comfortable the kids were around her. Over the weeks, however, Laura noticed something unusual. David, who typically returned home late due to work, began arriving earlier. He would linger in the kitchen, making small talk with Jessica as she finished her chores. Initially, Laura shrugged it off, thinking he was just being friendly. But as the weeks passed, she sensed an unsettling shift. David's behavior continued to change. He seemed more interested in spending time at home, but, oddly, not with her. When Laura tried to plan a date night or even a simple family outing, David would find excuses. On more than one occasion, she found him chatting with Jessica, their voices low and heads close together. One afternoon, Laura found a message on David's phone. It was brief, a simple "looking forward to seeing you tomorrow" from Jessica. Her heart dropped, and she realized she could no longer ignore the feeling gnawing at her. That evening, she confronted David. Her voice trembled as she asked him about his relationship with Jessica. David tried to deny it at first, but as Laura pressed, the truth came out. He admitted he had become infatuated with Jessica. It had started as casual conversations, moments that made him feel heard and seen, something he felt he hadn't experienced in a while. But soon, those casual moments became something more, something that broke the trust he had with Laura. Laura was devastated. She felt betrayed, hurt, and angry, but amid the heartbreak, she also felt a glimmer of determination. She needed answers, not just from David, but from herself. How had things gotten to this point? Had they become so consumed by the roles they played that they had forgotten to nurture their relationship? David, on the other hand, was racked with guilt. He apologized repeatedly, insisting he still loved her and wanted to make things right. He explained that his feelings for Jessica weren't as deep as he thought, and that he'd been seeking an escape from the stress and disconnection he felt in his marriage. Realizing how much he had hurt Laura and how fragile their family had become, he resolved to work on their relationship. Laura wasn't sure she could forgive him, but she knew she wanted to try. She couldn't let go of the years they had spent together, the family they had built. She agreed to go to counseling, where they could talk openly about their feelings, about the resentment, loneliness, and unmet needs that had led to this rift. They began seeing a marriage counselor who helped them confront the issues they had been avoiding. In therapy, Laura expressed how overwhelmed she had felt, how her focus on the kids and household had left her drained and disconnected from David. David, in turn, admitted that he had felt unappreciated and isolated, and rather than addressing these feelings with Laura, he had sought validation elsewhere. Their path to healing was neither easy nor quick. The pain of betrayal weighed heavily on both of them. But over time, through countless conversations, counseling sessions, and a shared commitment to change, they began to rebuild. Laura found ways to reconnect with herself, reigniting passions and hobbies she had let go of. David worked to regain her trust, proving to her each day that he was dedicated to their family and their relationship. Jessica, understanding the impact her actions had unintentionally caused, chose to leave her position. She moved on, and though her absence was noticeable at first, it ultimately allowed Laura and David the space they needed to heal. Months later, their relationship had shifted. They were closer, more honest, and more present for each other. The affair had left scars, but it also reminded them of what they had once cherished. Their love wasn't perfect, but it was resilient. They had emerged from the darkest chapter of their marriage with a renewed understanding of each other. For David, it was a humbling lesson in honesty and respect. For Laura, it was a reminder of her own strength and the importance of self-care. And together, they had learned that love required not just commitment, but constant nurturing, open communication, and trust.